What is up? Ooh, I don't wanna work out right now. My chest is kinda sore. I'm feeling like a real old bitch. Oh, yep. Days one in the morning. I just do not want to. This light is like blinding, right? Oh, I'm super tight. Getting tight. This is why I like to warm up with chest flies. Really good way to put up your man. More and more I think about it, I think I'm gonna have to take 2 days off, man, because my body is not liking that one day off. What's up, Trent? What's good, man? Oh, 0% of me wants to do this right now. Feeling of your food. That too dark? That's way too dark. Maybe if I keep on this light. This light is. I just hate this light. It's so bad. It's a bad light. Hate that light. Da-da-da-da. Yep. I think I don't know, man. I'm already started working out, so I'm gonna push. Probably not gonna lift heavy. I'm thinking the 2 days off, and it's just good for my body. Good for my body. I just feel better working out. So, and I'm also a little bit more excited about working out. Um, Definitely not excited today. That's for damn sure. So that's another good thing about taking 2 days off. You can train harder. You're more excited. It's still more than enough, training, even if I did two. So two on, two off, two on, two off. That's eight. So it's still over, like I did the math, like 3.5 training days a week. Technically, every week you're training 4 days. So it's yeah, it's 4 days a week. I don't know. I can't do math right now. My brain's not firing. Triceps feel good. My chest is just sore. We did kind of push it. What was it? Today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Last time we did chest. Wait, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday we put up the 90s for the flat bench, and I think one set we did 10. I think every single set we did 10. So we're getting stronger. Our muscles are coming back. Oh, just old. So we just gotta warm up nice and slowly today. Make sure we take it easy because body is just 100%. I'm telling you guys, flies before you do flat bench and overhead extensions is the way to go, man. Feels a lot One thing I gotta do this week is I gotta build another dumbbell rack. In my old gym back in California, I had my 90s and my 75s and 100s on a rack. It was pretty close to the height of my current dumbbell rack. It actually was a little bit lower. I don't really have the space to do it in this garage because actually I had less space in that gym, I feel like. I think I did have less space. Um, but I I maybe about the same space. Maybe a little bit more, actually, now I think of maybe a little bit more, but in length, not in width. Um, but now I have actually more equipment now too because I have two extra bikes inside here. But what I mean to say is I have more like wall space on one side. So I built a rack against the wall, hold them. I'm thinking about how can I do that here. So one thing I kind of have is this is my box, my plyo box. I never fucking use it. I used it for clients back in the day. You know, like 20 inches one way, 16 the other. I think it's 24 this way. I can move this. This is my wife's Peloton. This is my other eco bike. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of this bike maybe by the end of the year. I might just wait for that. But if I move my dumbbells over to the right, I could build a rack right here, no problem. But I don't want a longer rack. Just I don't know, man. I don't really gonna touch the hundreds very much. Um, I only use them for like rows and bench press. So maybe I figure it out. This is more. Less is way more. So real quick, these extensions. I know you guys see me do it a couple times. So you're hip hinging. You're pushing your. Basically, what you're doing is making sure the rope is behind your head, getting that deep stretch into your lats and your triceps. You're gonna find a position that stretches it the most, and you can do your extensions from here. Nice and slow. What that's doing is just opening up your lats and the long head of your triceps. It's really you'll feel the stretch in your armpit. There's a muscle in your armpit called teres minor, and I'm a firm believer that this muscle is the culprit of most shoulder injuries, shoulder and upper back. It's probably the culprit for especially for people that work out. Not so much for people that don't work out. People that don't work out to injure their shoulders. A lot of it, in my opinion, is just a weaker upper back, and weaker upper back. Um, because you guys heard me before, your shoulders just dangling there, and the best position for your shoulder movement is to have your back squeezed, basically rotated, basically what they thought like standing up straight. You know, when people just stand up straight. Basically, standing up straight, that position with your shoulder blades back is the best position for pressing overhead and pressing in front. So any type of pressing movement. So a good exercise that you could do to do this and see the difference is if you roll your shoulders forward like this, try to make your shoulders touch your chest, and you try to bring your hand overhead as you can. It's going to be extremely difficult to do. Like it might hurt some of you to do something like that. That's what I'm talking about with people, weaker people injuring their shoulders because they can't do this movement. They can't pull their shoulder blades back. So it's hard for them to be in a strong position to press overhead and in front. And then when you do that with a dynamic movement, like you're moving from left to right, or you're just moving a box, or you're just picking something up, and you're just weak, you're a weak person, like an old person, you're gonna injure yourself. Like I've known people who've tried to move a box with a leg and they tore something in their knee because they're so fucking weak. There's no excuse for being weak. There's zero excuse. 100% zero excuse for being weak. I'm not saying you need to go fucking work out in a gym or anything, but be strong, man. Like physically strong is a good place to be. I'm not saying you gotta be as strong as I am. I wouldn't even consider myself that. Don't be fucking that weak, man. You need that bone density, especially if you're a female. 100% important, especially the closer you get to 65. Men, we can get away with a lot. We're just medically or structurally than women. And you can't not be weak. Can't not be weak. It's already hot in here. It's like literally 68 degrees in here right now. But dreaming of your face, without you, baby. Who sings that song in my head? Oh, baby. I'm not. This is not. Your boy's gonna fucking. I put a t-shirt on the other day, and I was like, God damn, this t-shirt's fucking tight. Wait. Um, the goddamn creatine, man. That thing swells me up. So I don't know. I go back and forth on creatine for my personal use. I don't see as much performance gain, or I don't notice it, but I do notice more water. Not in a necessarily bad way, but I do notice my clothes fit a little tighter. It's the problem of being a short man that's jacked too, man. It's just you're just wearing fucking. It's hard to find clothes. Like I gotta wear large t-shirts all the time now, and if it's not a tank top or a large t-shirt, then I'm just uncomfortable in it. 'Cause it's just so tight around my fucking armpits, man. The problem when you have some big ass fucking lats. That's why you guys always see me in fucking tank tops. Not necessarily because I'm hot all the time. But it's just hard to wear t-shirts, man. Good problems. Good problems. Remember, there's no excuse for being a little fucking bitch, man. You know, I think we could just. No, let's do 35. We're gonna do a set of 35 for the incline bench press, and we're gonna jump straight into the 55 for 10. So I think we're gonna do probably 10 and then straight into 10. We'll probably get away with it. What's up, Big Bill Johnson? Big Bill Johnson. That sounds like a fucking bird character's name. Good thing is today's a pretty quick workout. I definitely need to do some conditioning today, though. I haven't done conditioning in too long, so I'm gonna cut the stream for that. But I'm gonna do my sprints on my eco bike a little quieter. When I talk about sprints, I go 3 on, 3 off, 3 on, 3 off. For well, 3 on, 3 off, 3 on, 3 off. 4 sets of that. Supposed to be 4 minutes, but I don't have the. I can't keep my intensity up for 4 minutes currently. So, and then what I'm trying to do is trying to hover above 85% of what I have, the total capacity. You drive it, bro. You out here, bitches. So my car makes me a bitch. Cool. Yeah, it does sound like a bird character. Don't worry, I got a truck too. If that makes you feel better inside, just because you're projecting your insecurities. I got a I got a Chevy Silverado 22. Year 22. It is a four banger though. Tell you what, I didn't know they made four bangers. I was super interested when I found out they had the four banger because and it's the thing is a twin turbo four banger truck. That is the most insane sentence I've heard in a long time. In a long time. It's about 19 miles per gallon. Too bad. Yeah, but don't be a bitch. Don't be no weak bitch. Let me phrase that correct. Don't be a weak bitch, both emotionally and physically. Don't be a weak bitch. Weak bitches get no pussy, and if they do, they're just probably manipulating people to do it. And you don't want to manipulate people to get pussy. That's the last thing you want to do. You got my choice. Back to back like that was a bad idea. So the reason why I did that set was I'm gonna jump straight to the 75s. Don't make you tough. I'm gonna tell you right now, being physically strong and mentally strong is gonna make you tough. That's just gonna make you real tough. Real tough. Especially if you gotta go handle some business. But I've always believed that, calm is better. So the more physical capable you are, you're gonna be a calmer person. I feel like. Calm is cool. Calm is cool. All right, so we're done warming up our chest. We're gonna go straight into our RDLs. We're gonna see if we can push it a little bit today. Um, we might do dual kettlebells since we're gonna be taking basically only got three more exercises for today. We got this exercise, and then we got incline, and then finish off with our flat. I'm gonna try to get it done in 3 sets. Incline, because I want to do 3 sets on the decline. Yeah, you don't want to be obese, man. Ain't nothing worse than being obese, both like looks wise and health wise. Because in my definition of health, it means to increase longevity while not decreasing quality of life. That's the right definition. You want to be you don't want to be too jacked though, you know. I mean, you don't want to get off steroids and shit. You gotta remember when you're that big, your heart has to work way much more. We big ass muscles, more heart work. That's why you get those problems with those really big motherfuckers. So I don't know exactly what the healthy amount is, but definitely want more muscle and body fat or visceral body fat, especially. So if you ever see a guy with a big pot belly and kind of skinny arms, you probably see them all the fucking time, look like truck drivers. That's a key indicator of type 2 diabetes. Big pot bellies, skinny arms. Especially too, you'll see it in their hands. They have very thick hands. Another sign of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. You might be thinking like type 2 diabetes, oh, you could just get a shot for that with your insulin. You can't. What you're doing right there is you're just managing a disease, and as your body slowly goes in decline because your rates of cancer go up by like 400%. No, cancer goes up by 200%. Heart disease goes up by 400%. Also, Alzheimer's and dementia goes up too. Take that for what it is. I hope everyone's a gym rat. Good. What else you gotta be doing? Watch at home watching Netflix, doom scrolling, watching this fucking live stream. You shouldn't be watching this right now. You should be at the gym working out if you can. I get it, people have responsibilities, but you have a responsibility yourself to take care of your body in whatever capacity you can. My thing, I always call these motherfuckers out for because I was in the trades growing up before I moved to Arizona. I was in the trades. A lot of guys in the trades, man, fucking fat. They're fat fucks, and especially the contractors, they're so fat. And the thing is, like, you get into talks, but they're cool people, but they're still fat as fuck. Doesn't chase the fact that they're fat. And I'm not saying that because they're to be mean. I'm just saying that's factually what they are. They're fat as fuck. Um, but they always say shit like, I work so hard for my family. I crush it for my family. And I look at them like, yeah, but you fat as fuck, man. Like, you clearly don't care about your family enough to take care of your own health because what the fuck happens when you're gone since you're such a pillar to your family? What happens when you die? Because a preventable disease like fucking heart disease. You didn't need to get diabetes. It's your fault that you got gout. That's the shit that I always scratch my head. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I talked to my father-in-law about it the other day because he's oldest. He tried being a manly man. He is pretty easy. He's not fat by any means, but he doesn't take very good care of his health. And every time I fucking see him, he's always bitching about something. And I say that in a nice way, but he's complaining about something. I just told him I sit him down as a 60-year-old man. I'm just like, dude, like you sleep like 6 to 5 hours every night. You know, you you have a high stressful job. Your eating habits are not to the best of your abilities, and you drink every fucking night. What do you want me to say to you? You know, I was like, you gotta. This is exactly what I said. I was like, you gotta prioritize your health more. You gotta prioritize it. That's all I said to him, and he was like, you know what, you're right. Like I'm just not prioritizing. I was like, yeah. It's like you just gotta take it important. I said, start by trying to sleep more. You don't need to be fucking watching movies till 11 o'clock at night. I know what he does. He's a VP for $1 billion. Oh, I don't know. Are they Fortune 500? I think they're Fortune 500. I don't think they're a $1 billion company. But he's a VP for the South region. So he's a stressful job, but there's better ways to take out your stress. Especially lack of sleep is like the worst way because it's only a couple of your stress. That and coupled with drinking, the problem with drinking is one of the side effects of it drinking is that anxiety post drinking goes up. So
It's gonna make you more anxious, more prone to stress. So it's like a double-edged sword. By the way, don't quote me on any of this shit. This is all anecdotal. I can't remember everything. I would suggest Google it yourself. But that's my whole key about not being fat. Don't do it. My younger brother is on the chubby side. He got gout. I lay on him too. I'm like, well, I don't lay on people. I just be like, all right, cool. That's how you want to live. That's how you want to live. You know, what's up, big chimpin? Hey, senior wife. Appreciate the gift. Appreciate it. You don't have to, please. Don't send gifts. Just drop a like, leave a comment. That's it. Please, please. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you right now. I can't even access my funds on, on YouTube. I've started getting monetized about like 2.5 years ago, and every cent I've made on YouTube, I've not been able to touch, which is probably a good reason. That probably was just it's like fun money. I would just spend it on buying another bike or something. Um, but they won't accept my ID for whatever reason. Um, so I need to escalate it, but honestly, I don't care enough to even touch it. So the way I look at it, they can't tax me if I don't touch it. So, when you start doing your own taxes, you're like, I don't really need that money. And then you're like, man, if I didn't do that, then I gotta start. It's gonna be 1099. Then I gotta write some shit off. I gotta buy some shit. Yeah, that's the problem being self-employed is come tax season, you're like scrambling. Well, at least I am because I procrastinate. I should be slowly filing all my receipts as the year goes on or hire someone to do that. But I'm too cheap. And my conscientiousness when it comes to things like that is so low. Like I know it's gonna hurt at the this time of year, which because I'm doing my taxes right now, which I'm almost done in. But it's still a pain. But yeah, guys, like just we'll start off 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. It's probably, for the average person more than enough to get strong and just dedicate 30, 40 to 45 minutes, 3 days a week. And I promise you, you'll see a general better increase of quality of your life. You're not only gonna look jack or anything, but you're just gonna feel better. And if you feel better, you're just gonna be nicer to be around. You're gonna be nicer towards your families, your coworkers, the random strangers in the street. You're just gonna be overall a better person. All right. I'm not saying go for walks. I mean, lift some heavy shit. Do it 3 times a week. And I promise you, your quality of life is gonna go better. And if you can't lift heavy shit, whether physically or not capable of going to the gym or having weights, do some goddamn push-ups, do some air squats, do some pull-ups. Go to a park, get one of the pull-up things that you can get, go under the door, or get some like a TRX band so you can do rows. Or you don't even need a TRX band. These are TRX bands. Right here, you hook them, hands grab here, and you pull yourself towards the carabiner, the row. You can use them for pull-ups, or you can get rings like this. I don't know if you guys can see this in shot. I have some gymnastic rings. Like you can do it for the cheap, man. Almost next to nothing. The only thing you had to pay for is the rings. But I'm sure if you're ingenuitive enough, you probably don't need to do that. You can just use rope if you have rope. But yeah, I digress. Oh, nice. My first gym was a shed gym. It leaked. I don't understand people who don't actually. You know, here's the best way I could put it. TQ, it's just not a there's just not a priority to them. It's just not a priority to them. They're not lazy. I would never consider anybody lazy. I don't even think lazy people exist. It's a hierarchy of things that are high in your priority list and things that are not. And your priority list and their priority list don't match up. That's it. I really, and I know it sounds like mean like 5 minutes ago, but I really truly mean it. I don't think people are lazy. I think there's two things. It's not a priority for them because they are ignorant or naive to the benefits. And also another third thing I just said a minute ago is conscientiousness. They not know the positive and the negative effects of not training, and they're not conscientious enough to understand that not training will diminish the longevity and the quality of your life moving forward. You know what I mean? They don't get that. And a lot of people don't get that. And it's a genetic trait. It's a genetic trait. The conscientiousness is a genetic trait. And you should check out the double twins at the adopted twins at birth study is the study that they found that there are certain genes. It's not one gene, it's a multitude of genes that make shows whether your conscientious level is high or low. And also it is also environmental. So if your parents, you have you don't if you have the low conscientious gene and your parents are low conscientious, not only in gene but in practice, you're gonna follow the same trait. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunately there is nature and nurture go hand in hand with each other from my understanding. Remember, this is my understanding. I lift super heavy for twice a week. I used to be. You completely stop. Hey, you start to plateau. You know, your body can only recover so much, especially the older you get. I'm really, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is where I used to do 5, 6 days a week, and it was 5, 6 days a week of CrossFit too. So it wasn't just just lifting heavy. So what we did was we did our conditioning, we did our strength work, conditioning, and then after the conditioning, we worked out like bro worked out. So it was long fucking days. But back then, I was a personal trainer back in those days. So I could spend 3.5 hours working out back in those days because there's a lot of break times between clients. Yeah, when you get a real job, like a personal training is probably one of them. I never suggest people become personal trainer because it's tough, man. It's a tough job. You got to be very likable. You got to be generally an agreeable person to be a personal trainer. You can't be a disagreeable person because people don't want to be around disagreeable people. And it's a sales job too. I was the first two, very likable, agreeable person, knowledgeable, fun to be around, but I wasn't a salesperson. So it was tough for me in the very beginning. But once people liked me because people, oh yeah, fucking Nas is pretty, good, he's smart, great coach. Then the clients came coming in. But if I had that sales tenacity, which I do lack, I would really excelled in that. But I quit for other reasons, emotional reasons that I frankly don't want to talk about right now. um, I'll tell you, my daughter passed away, and I just couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't be an agreeable, likable person like I used to be. I still am, but what happens when you face tragedy in your life, especially something so harsh, you're like your emotional availability like shrinks, your patience shrinks. It's just you become a different person, and I just didn't. I was no longer that person, so I had to switch careers because I couldn't talk to people anymore. It's just because when you're a coach, not 60 to 80% of your job, you're a personal therapist. 100%. People go there, I cheated on my husband, I cheated on my wife, I don't know what to do. I don't always feel like this, you know, especially women, because like 80% of your client is women. One point, it was almost 50-50 for me, but it's all women. Women have a lot of negative thoughts. They're predisposed to it. And when you're struggling emotionally because you lost someone that you care about, it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to be like, oh, I'm sorry you had to take your dog to the vet. And like it was hard for me to feel genuine about that. And then I did it for like another year and I was like, I can't do this shit no more. Like you got to be honest with yourself. It's like I can't do this shit no more. So I told my wife, I was like, I can't do this no more. I actually was gonna become a cop, but then motherfuckers. I told them I was smoking weed to go to sleep. I was in California; it was legal at the time. And they're like, "You can't do that as a cop." I was like, "Well, I'm using it to because I have insomnia. My daughter passed away, got insomnia." And they're like, "I don't care." But the funny thing is, I passed all their tests. The aptitude test, no problem. Actually, it was a little bit of a problem. Spelling is not my strong side. But everything else was pretty chill. And I was like their number one cadet in that physical. Oh, this is 33-year-old man beating out 18-year-old kids, man. Come on. They wanted me. They were like, just re-sign up next quarter. But I was so butthurt by it. I'm like, fuck y'all. So I went back to the trades, which was a better move in my part. It was better for my mental health. Ain't nothing better than working with your hands when you got like so much turmoil because it's like every day you work with your hands, you build something, you create something. You can always turn around, look back. Oh, I did that today. It's a good like moral, not moral boost, but morality boost. There you go. I don't know. I'm just shooting shit. I'm gonna catch up with these guys. I feel you. Stay strong. I know. Hey, I'm good now, man. I'm good now. I don't. I could become a coach again for sure. But I appreciate James Ware. Such is life, man. That's how I look at it. Such is life. It's the price you pay for existence. And oh, I appreciate that, Amir. Courtney and Nancy buy a real car there, pal. This is pretty much as real as good. This is American built. American built. We got our cobalt from the Congo though for the batteries. So a lot of the parts are from overseas, but that's how it is. This is American built car. This is my first American car. What are you talking about? I'm proud of this car. Better fuel economy. It's fast as hell. 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, I think. That's fucking fast, dude. And fuck, dude, it's autopilot, man. Y'all tripping. Autopilot is the way to go, man. I'm not talking about full self-driving. I mean, like, there's a feature in Tesla where when you're in on the highway, you click it and it just drives straight for you. Someone brakes, slows down. If it needs to switch lanes for emergency, it'll switch lanes. You're just chilling, dude. It's like it's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. I took this thing from California to Arizona. It was a long ride. I'm not gonna lie, because we had to charge. I spent like 2.5 hours charging the car, which was not a bad break if you ask me. I used that time, stretch, fucking got some food, did a little bit of a workout. You use your time wisely. When you're like, I'm gonna talk about the Tesla real quick. When it's a kind of freeing feeling charging your car because that's 30 minutes that you have to stay there. There is no option. You can't rush, because when I drive a normal gas car, it's like you stop, you're trying to get in and out of gas station as fast as possible because you want to make good time. Right? When you drive a Tesla, there's no making good time. In long range, long distance, there's no making good time. Because you can here's the problem with that. See, let's say you drive fast, right? You're just going to drain your battery quicker. So you're going to have to charge more. So you're just going to have to do 75 to 80 and just charge for 30 minutes at a time. it takes the stress out of driving, man. For me, at least, I don't like wasting time, so it's kind of nice having to have to take 30-minute breaks every 2.5 3 hours, especially if you have a dog in the car. But yeah, love this car. Love this car. There's this new truck coming out. It's an all electric Slate. It's called a Slate. And I kind of wish I didn't buy my truck because I'd much rather have that. It's a little single cab. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a single cab truck because I had one growing up, especially it's all electric. Whew. This is a lot harder with two kettlebells. These are 50-pound kettlebells. Oh, we're doing single legged RDLs. Yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that suffering is the price of existence. So it's up to you to, you don't want to end the suffering by killing yourself, unaliving yourself, so to speak. You got to find a way to deal with the suffering in a way that extends the quality and existence, the longevity of your existence. People, use substances and people to minimize the suffering. But I think if you do that, it just diminishes your quality and longevity of your existence. So it's like it's a game. I think the key is to find peace however way you can. Or you can use a cheat code. You can use religion. Religion's a good cheat code for that. Because the only problem with religion, you have to have faith. But if you're a very logical subject, you're a logical person and objectively logical, it's really hard to believe in the whole thing. It's really difficult. It's really, really difficult to have faith. I commend people that can do that because I wish I could have faith and be logical. I just can't. It don't work for me. But that's a me thing. But yeah, those are those ways to just deal with the suffering that is existence. That's the price. For me, I don't know, in a weird way, it helps me knowing that that's the price I pay to exist, is to deal with the suffering because it's like a workout or work in general. Like if you put something in front of me and tell me I got to do this to get that, it's gonna happen. It's gonna fucking happen. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to do it. Eventually, it's gonna happen. So it's like for me, it's good to understand that. It's like, oh, all right. So suffering is just it's the deal you have to make, you know. And I'm like, I like existing. I like my family. I love my son. I love my wife. I love being around them. I love, my immediate family, my people in my orbit. And then I'm just like, okay, well, I just got to learn how to deal with that shit, and then I can have all this fun shit. So it's like that's how I look at it. On my car for $2,000? No, I'm underwater on this bitch for about 6,000. What are you talking about? 2,000? Tripping. Last stream we talked about car financing. Well, my problem with this was COVID. That was the issue. COVID jacked up the prices on this or kept them strong. And then I paid it on. Actually, the crazy thing is I bought um the cheapest one in the all of Bay Area, the Bay Area, California. I bought the cheapest long range dual motor one, and it still lost money. There were ones that were literally almost $10,000 more expensive. If I bought one of those ones, oh my God, I'd have been down 16 bands, dude. 16 on a car. So I'm still down on it, but honestly, I love the car. It was great because in California, when I bought it, I was commuting a lot. and it was dead stop traffic because I had to go over the Richmond Bridge to Corte Madera, which is north of San Francisco. If you look at San Francisco on a map, it's going north of that. Um, Dude, that traffic was insane. That traffic was insane. That's why I put the autopilot on. Fucking click that bitch on. This thing drives in traffic by itself, and I'm just chilling. I was watching YouTube. I was watching movies. I watched the whole series of Lord of the Rings on in of on what's it called, Amazon Prime, one week. I every day I watched an episode in dead stop traffic. It was and you could get the carpool lane. It was cheaper on gas than gas in California, and it was half off toll plaza because our toll was $7. It's insane. Used to be $4. So I only had to pay 350 to go over the bridge. So, I figured in about 2.5 years before I quit my job, I probably made up that 6 grand. But that's the story I tell myself so I don't fucking I don't feel so bad. You are the sum you are the sum of the stories you tell yourself. It's the fact. You are the sum of the stories you tell yourself. Right, that's it. All I could get done two more. I'm just gonna save it for the flat bench. Is we're gonna go straight to the 90s. It's already 8 o'clock. You are the sum of the stories you tell yourself. It's true too, man. I believe that. You are the you what was it? It was what's his name? Gary Vee that said that, and I live by that. You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. I don't think it's 5 people. I think you're gonna be the average of probably not even five. Five. I think it makes more sense, but it's probably more aloof saying it personalities. But you are the average of the personalities you surround yourself with. Because you say people, you know, a lot of people listen to a lot of long form content like YouTube videos and podcasts. So if you listen to a particular genre that is leaning on one direction heavily, and there's no middle or moderate ground, you're gonna hold these that side's ideals a lot more. So I think it's like personalities, including the one that you have in your head. You know what I mean? The one that your alter ego, the one that you're always talking to. The question is the relationship between that alter, because like that alter ego a lot of people have is a very self-deprecating, a very negative mindset. I had a lot of clients with like a lot of weight issues. Obviously, I was a personal care trainer. Again, just because you're fat, I don't think you're lazy. I don't think lazy people exist. I think being in shape is just not a priority to you. And I think your goal is to make it a priority. I think that's the best way to look at it. But a lot of them had like negative thoughts, like you're not good enough, you're fat, you're ugly. And I was like, you gotta remember, like, um, I wish I said this back then, but this is what I say now, is that you are consumed by the spirit of what you aim for. So if you're listening to that inner thought, right? a lot, you're not blocking it out, finding a way to not listen to it or not even to hear it, you're gonna get consumed by that, and it's gonna possess you. So the best thing to do is to change that narrative, you know, however way you can. I always told people to name it. So if you can name that narration in your head, it's you can identify it as a different person, and you be like, person A, stop talking to me like that. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that helped a lot of people, especially males for some reason. Um, Not so much women. Women, I could, women, you know, God bless them, man. God bless them. But for males, it helped a lot. I feel like, well, every male I told that thing to, it made a noticeable difference for them because now they had a villain. The villain had a name, the villain. Now you knew who the enemy was. It's just not this random voice in your head or random thought. I felt like that helped them. It helped me when I thought negative thoughts like that. You know, it's just like drug addicts, right? Or people who ride motorcycles. Like, they just gotta, they have to hit rock bottom sometimes. Some people need to see what the end's gonna look like to change. And the sad thing is, it doesn't work like that for everybody else. That's why I was telling earlier about reading that, or just there's plenty of stuff like people talk about it. People talk about it all the time, especially in the fitness world. The double twins at birth, the twins adopted at birth study just shows that it's a genetic trait for conscientiousness. It's obviously nurture as well, but there's a trait, just like alcoholism, drug abuse things. You're just genetically more predisposed to either being a drug addict or not being a drug addict. Obviously, if the drug's not in your life, you're not going to be a drug addict, but you will probably find ways to abuse other substances that are in your reach, like alcohol, for example. With people that are obese and don't see the issues with it being long in the long term, they have low conscient. We call it low conscientious. I mean, they can't see that far in the future. They can't see that what they're doing today is going to cause harm to them in the future. Same issue with drug addicts. Same people with addiction problem. They can't physically see the difference. They can. You could tell them, but in their head, it doesn't. Just doesn't. The gears don't. Don't turn. Um, I am in like in a mid range on that. I don't have high conscientiousness. I was blessed with two things. Well, one thing: low food drive. Um, um, and I don't know if you can say hard work. Probably hard work is probably genetic trait. I need to look at that because I know it was a lot of my upbringing. I watched my mom work two jobs pretty much my whole youth, and then when she married my stepdad, that motherfucker was the hardest working person I still know to this day. He still works harder than anybody else. Um, so I guess there is some nurture to that, but I work hard. I love goals. I love setting goals. But then at the same time, I have very low conscientiousness. I ride motorcycles. I like to drink. I like I don't partake in some heavier substances anymore since I got a kid. But man, do I fucking love you know doing some fucking, what do they call it? Was it snow bunnies? Is that the new term? I fucking love that shit. I'm not gonna lie, that shit. So you can honestly say I used to drink and drive like a motherfucker. I definitely don't have high conscientiousness. I'm just saying, I don't. I know I don't because I do some stupid shit. So, but for people like that, they generally have probably where I'm at, plus high food drive, or very low conscientious plus high food drive. So you can't really. It's not about even saying it's not their fault. It's just about understanding your handicaps, right? If this is my handicap, what can I do to make it less of a handicap? So that's why I think it's so important to understand the problem. Going back to what I was saying, that suffering is the price of existence. Once you know what the price is, you know the game you're playing, you know what the exchange rate is, it's easier for at least me to formulate a way to get through it, or if it's to calculate if it's worth getting through it. You know what I mean? It's like, is it for back to like, I'm a big, was it worth buying this car? You know what I mean? Like when I weigh out, pros and cons, it was worth it. You know what I mean? It's just the same thing. It's just, you're just, but we're taking on to food. We're taking on about overall health. We're talking about all mental health. It's just the same concept. It's just quantifying it all. That's how I look at it. Hopefully that made sense. All right. I gotta speed this shit up. We got the 90s. We're going to flat bench. I think next week, after we take a 2-day break, we'll go to the hundos. I haven't flat benched the hundreds in like, God, a long fucking time. I think like before my daughter passed away, it was a long time. I bought those things and they sat. But I got them for less than $1 a pound, so I'm pretty happy about that. I got 90s, 75s, and hundreds for $600. $1 a pound? No, that's more than $1 a pound. But it was like 640 plus shipping. No, with shipping included. That was a steal, if you ask me. I don't feel bad about it, even though I don't use it. Big boy. Oh, ow. The fuck? I hit the fucking metal bracket there. That shit hurt my fucking butt on that thing. Hey, man. God is always good, right? That's why God is perfect. What did Jesus said? Um, how's it go exactly? The only good is God, and the only good goes to the only good. Let me say it again. The only good is God, and the only good goes to heaven. That's the beauty of Christianity, if you ask me. That phrase alone means, coming from an agnostic, I love that. I love it. I love it so much. Because that means even though you're not good, you still get to go to heaven. That's like beautiful. Like that sums up the totality of the Bible to me. That one thing. It's a beautiful thing. Uh, Christ is King. Well, I don't like that statement from a person that studies the Bible. Um, 'Cause again, I'm not agnostic, but I still love the Bible. I think it's a really good place to find tools for bettering. It's a good place to find tools to fight the suffering that is the price of existence. That's the best way I could put it. Best way I could put it. But I don't think Jesus ever called himself a king. You know, he never he never called himself a king. We called him a king. Well, yeah, you can see. Here's the problem. Like I said it earlier, is I very envy to logical people who have faith, because I'm a logical person. I like to think I'm a logical person. Let me just rephrase. I like to think I'm a logical person, and I wish I had faith. I wish. I love me some Stephen Furtick. You know what I mean? Wes Hoff is probably one of my favorite people to watch. I love the teachings of the Bible. I mean, I love it, but I love it in a sense, in a non-faith based way. So I'm fucking weird, I guess, when you put it that way. I'm fucking weird. I'm an outlier for sure. I'm probably the most Christian non-Christian out there because I follow the teachings. It's not teaching; it's just tools. They're all just tools. They're all tools the way I look at it, and it's good tools. I wouldn't have peace. in my soul if it wasn't for the Bible. Because I learned that it's not about forgiveness, it's about grace and mercy. And everybody deserves grace and mercy because, like what we said earlier, and we're going to talk about the religion right now, the only good is God, and the only good goes to heaven. And that means a lot because even though you're not good, you get to go to heaven because of God's grace and mercy. Of God, the whole point is not loving your neighbor as if they were you. It's not about being able to forgive people. It's about giving everyone grace and mercy. That's it. You can do that, and you can take that and then give it to yourself because you got to give yourself grace and mercy because those inner thoughts, that lifetime reel of all the fucked up shit you did in the past, shit comes back, and you try to battle it. And the thing is, you don't fight it. You give it grace, and you give yourself mercy. Like you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to go to heaven, but you still get to go. That's the whole point. And if you can do that to everybody around you, you're just not going to be as angry. You're not going to be as anxious. You're going to be as judgmental. I'm not a very judgmental person now because I believe that when you judge someone, you have to hold that negative aspect inside yourself. And now you become their jailer to you become their jailer and they're your prisoner. And the fucked up thing about being a jailer is that and the position of prisoner is one is there by choice and the other isn't. You know what I mean? That's why I'm a firm believer that finding peace is the cure to suffering in life. Yeah, you could say that. An acknowledgement that it's teaching is a form of faith. I could agree with that statement. It's a form of its own, but it's not faith. Because there's a difference. There's a difference. Like motherfuckers have like Stephen Furtick, my favorite preacher. I know it. He got gold chains. He's wearing Louis Vuittons. He is milking his crowd. He is milking his crowd. But I feel like out of everyone that's milking the crowd, that motherfucker deserves it. He deserves it because he can put you on Christ and like on a heartbeat, man. He's the one that made me jealous. Like, here's the best way I can put it. I am jealous of people with faith. 100%. I'm 100% jealous. I told my wife this. I told my father-in-law is a pastor. I told him that. I'm like, I'm fucking jealous. I wish I could do it. I tried. I've been trying. I've been trying for the last 6 years. But a year ago, I came to the conclusion that you know, I just got to create my own version, and then that's what I've been doing the last year and a half, and I've never been. I'm in a very good place in my life now. I found my own hybrid between the two, so I can listen to the teachings, you know, and then not feel judgmental. That was the problem because when shit didn't make sense, I'm like, that made no sense. Well, like the birth narrative, the birth narrative is different. Let's just say that. Like, they tell a different story every single time, essentially. Um, so that was a big part that I was battling with. But then I realized, like, that doesn't matter. Like, it's not about the facts, it's about what the story teaches you. And then I came to that conclusion on my own. And now I love learning about the Bible. I like taking what I learned from it. Dude, my back this is heavy. Going back to back like that, this is really heavy. But yeah, ooh. All right. I got two more sets of this, and then we gotta call it. My son is awake. Uh, Guidance and healing from the hand, understand? No. I've already tried it. No offense. I I can honestly say that I cannot I can't have faith like that, like y'all. I'm jealous of it, but I just can't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Things need to make sense to me for me to believe in them. I can't be a blind believer. I question everything. To have faith means you got to be okay with not having questioning to be able to question things. That's basically what faith is. Don't question it. I question everything. Everything. And that's why there's a huge battle with me with it. Because my logic mind says, you know, they didn't have in vitro back then. You couldn't extract eggs back then and inject it, inject it into Mary. You could probably take a syringe of some kind and then shove some sperm up there, and then she would get pregnant without being having any sex. That's factually probable. But you see all these gymnastics I have to do in my mind to believe that narrative. And that's the problem I have. I can't believe the narrative because of the backflips I have to do to make it work. And that's where I realized was like, oh, you just can't. You can't have that kind of faith because you question too much. Um, so yeah, that's the problem with me. And see, that's the problem. I always ask why. Always. It's not about like that's it. That's what I said. Faith. People with faith don't question. They don't question. And that's not that me. That's not my character. That's not my who I was, my genetic makeup. I question everything. I find answers. I'm a problem solver, you know what I mean? Like that's what a carpenter is. When you're a framer and and the fucking Jesus is a carpenter. I think there's a reason why I'm reading about Jesus being a carpenter. I think in the narrative why he was a carpenter is a lot deeper than just being a carpenter. I think you got to take a look at what carpenters do and stuff like that. But that's for another talk. I need to sit on those thoughts for a while before I have a thought or a stance on it. But yeah, you're a problem solver, and to solve problems, you need to question everything about it, the whatever you're looking at, and it was like, when you question it, you find ways to work around said problem, and you find workarounds, things like that, and that's my mindset in general. Whether I'm building houses, building PCs, working on my e-bikes, working on my cars, that's always my mindset, and so that's why faith is a problem for me because it means you can't question. So, hey, like I said, I'm not hating on people that have faith. I said I'm jealous of them. That's it. That's facts. I'm just purely jealous because I wish I could do that. I can't. I've tried. It's not me giving up, just realizing my capacity. And then from no longer fighting that, I mean, looking to have faith, I've been able to enjoy the Bible a lot more. Like I've enjoyed it more in my entire life now than ever. So yeah, I think you can have both, but I think it is an outlier perspective. I mean, when I say that, I mean not a lot of people can think like I think. I think. All right, last set, best set. This is 90 for a flat bench. I think we're doing the hundos next week, for sure. And then I gotta go because my son's awake. Dude, this fucking metal part though, is fucking me up. I'm gonna go all the way to the edge. I don't know why. I'm one of the few people that like to bench with his legs up when it's heavy. Bitch. God. Lightweight, baby. I won't say. Come on. Oh, bitch. That's heavy, man. Got 11. All right, chat. Uh, yeah, you got to question everything. Have to. That's how you don't get fucking trapped in your house for fucking a year and fucking injected with a fucking vaccine that actually ended up not doing anything. You got to question everything. As a salute from NYCA. Oh, appreciate you. Hopefully you do too, everyone. Hope you have a good day. You know, I like to. I'm just trying to catch my breath. That was heavy. Yeah, hopefully everyone has a good day. Remember, you are the sum of the stories you tell yourself. So don't lie to yourself. Help you keep you from lying to other people. And, you know, just try to be the best version of you. Peace.